We're going to start with talking through the landscape and what we're hearing from customers, particularly in aero and defense as it relates to bid management. And then we'll spend a little bit of time helping you to understand why Agentforce can help solve for some of those pain points and where automation can be found on the platform. And then the bulk of the time, Sunil will walk you through a live demo of the bid management solution using Agentforce. And then we'll wrap with about 10 minutes of Q&A and key takeaways. If you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat as we go along, and we'll do our best to answer them. But we'll definitely leave time at the end for you to come off mute and ask any questions. All right, so you've probably seen a similar slide like this before if you've been on the Salesforce platform for a while, but what we're hearing from a lot of our aero and defense customers is that they're really looking to increase their win rates and make sure that they can increase their velocity in terms of proposals. But we're also hearing that in order to do that, there are kind of a lot of gaps. There's still a lot of manual workflows working out of spreadsheets, Word documents, SharePoint, siloed data where they're trying to pull things from different sources, GovWin, and then tools that are disjointed. Salesforce is usually part of that tool landscape, but it's not connected end to end between capture to win. And then obviously that creates compliance risk and limits visibility to be able to have a really smooth and efficient proposal process. And so where we are seeing opportunities for Agentforce on the Salesforce platform is to gain some time in terms of productivity and using Salesforce not only for some of the agentic capabilities that we're going to highlight today, but also for automation as part of the RFP process. And so some additional observations, this is coming from a Deltek study. In the GovCon space, typically, hopefully some of this resonates with you, proposal teams are spending 7 or more hours to draft a single proposal. And I can tell you internally, I've definitely had it be way more than 7 hours. And then we also know that a lot of these organizations are looking at how they can use AI to streamline the proposal process. Many of you are probably already using ChatGPT or some sort of similar AI tool to be able to generate responses. And so we know that you're already kind of out there looking at AI tools, and we're hopeful that Agentforce can solve for some of the gaps that you're still finding. And then for those of you that are small businesses like Vectr Solutions, a lot of times the overhead basically and the administrative burden blocks us from even attempting certain responses because of how much time and capacity it takes to bid. And so moving into 2026, many government contractors, if not the majority of them, are saying that they are looking for opportunities not only to have this process be more efficient, but also to make sure that they can stay competitive and not only increase win rate, but the velocity that they're attempting to bid. So, top priorities that hopefully resonate with you and your companies. As I mentioned, increasing proposal velocity, making sure that you can accelerate the time to submission and reduce that 7+ hours. And let's not forget compliance, some of which Sunil hit on, making sure that you're not missing any of the compliance checks that are important when it comes to pricing, audit, flow down clauses. That's extremely important in this industry, and we want to make sure that you can achieve that. And then lastly, making sure you're improving some of your bid intelligence. You know, one of the powers of using Salesforce as well as other aggregators like GovWin is all of the data and being able to use that data to generate insights or using any of the AI tools and capabilities to be able to predict like what are the types of RFPs that you should be bidding on. So what we hope to do today is show you how Agentforce can solve for some of those. And what we really want to be able to position to you is that moving from the traditional approach where you're using different silo tools, that you can basically go through the whole capture to proposal process using Agentforce and looking at ways that you can use Salesforce coupled with Agentforce to reduce the amount of time that your team's spending and increase your P win rates. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Sunil to demo our solution.
So I guess we are on. I was talking about the account here. This is one of the accounts that we had set up for the demo. As you will see, we brought this account in from a govern opportunity as a part of a govern opportunity. So you'll see some information around govern here as well. So this is pretty much integrated. We can bring in information from other sources. And in this case, it just happens to be a govern opportunity that created this account. And on the right here, you'll see some contacts. These are contacts that are specifically related to this account. But I'll show you in a second. These contacts can be associated with multiple accounts in different capacities, right? I mean, again, a lot of this is out of the box Salesforce features, but where it kind of helps us is kind of figure out how different agencies could work together and how we can share those contacts between agencies and also share some of the activity that we have set up around these contacts and accounts, right? You can also obviously use the hierarchy features within Salesforce, where you'll see the Defense Sciences Office is a part of DARPA here, which is a part of the Office of the Secretary of Defense. This is a hierarchy that it can be adjusted based on your own needs. It doesn't have to be the hierarchy that is defined by how the agencies report to each other or report up. This is more so how you do your business, where you sell to the specific agencies and how they are related. So as I go up into DARPA, you'll see some of the contacts here are similar to the ones we have on the other account. And as I click into this contact, you can now see the same person actually is an influencer in a couple of different agencies, and you can track their activity together within the same view, right? So this is something that we typically see being used quite a bit in any companies that basically work with government agencies. They have certain set of hierarchies they have to manage, contacts across multiple agencies that they would manage, as well as the activity that goes with the account as well as with the contacts, right? And within the account, there's a whole lot of information that we can capture. We talked about the contacts. There's opportunities related to each of those accounts or agencies. And I'll get into opportunities in a second here. And that's where a lot of what we show from Agentforce perspective will come into play. You can obviously always use your Agentforce agent within within your default Salesforce view, where you can ask to for example, summarize an account or summarize this record. And all of this is based on the context that that you're in right now. So it's going to look at that Defense Sciences Office, and it's going to give me a summary of everything that's on this account. And this is Agentforce actions, pretty much out of the box actions that you can utilize to do this, right? Now, this specific default Agentforce option is available pretty much on all of the screens that you would see. And as I click through the opportunities and some of the other aspects of the solution, I'll show you some of the areas where we can build some custom agents, or we've built some custom agents to do specific things related to the industry as well. Also, before I go into opportunities, at each object level, like at account level, contact level, and so on, you can capture documents. These could be your for example here, a capture plan, or any teaming agreements and things like that you might have with other partners related to the specific agency. Or at the opportunity level. As you can see here, there's an option to add partners as well. So for this specific account, we always go with a certain partner. So, we can capture that information here. And there's a whole lot of other information that we can capture, like cases and entitlements. That's probably applicable to non-sales use cases within Salesforce as well. So I'll skip those, but I'll go into an opportunity right now. As I mentioned before, this opportunity was created because I found this opportunity on on Govin based on my search criteria that I had saved there, and this was brought in as a part of that integration by just me indicating that this is something that I want to bring into Salesforce. So you'll see here again, there's information about the opportunity at a high level. The opportunity name, the solicitation number, the method of solicitation, any set asides, for example, this is a partial small business set aside, but you can choose what kind of set aside is the solicitation has. And everything that comes in as of now comes in at an unqualified stage, and I'll go through the stages in a second. And we have more information like key dates that are pulled from, there are two sets of dates. A set of dates that are pulled from Govin, which is the source of this opportunity. And we also have the opportunity here to add your own dates, for when, if, for example, you have more information available on this specific opportunity that's not available in Govin or sam.gov, for example, those can be captured in here as well. And let me cancel. And as you'll see on the right here, we have some related information. As I mentioned before, you can capture information like, at an opportunity level. You have, again, you can have a capture plan specific to this opportunity, or, you have proposal documents or RFPs or RFIs that you can use to or you can attach to this record. We also have contact roles here, so you can pick contacts from the account that are going to be or the agency that are going to be associated with this opportunity. So as we pull this data from its source, we were able to pull a contact that is specific to this solicitation, where we would do most of the communication, right? Then we have, opportunity partners. So this is where, for this specific opportunity, we saw there's a partial small business set aside. So we can, we can add a new partner in here and say, Vectr Solutions is going to be the partner for this, and you can define the work share. Again, this is customizable. These are minimum set of attributes that we capture at this level. But we can define whether this is going to be a prime or a sub for this opportunity. And if we have NDAs or teaming agreements signed, we can capture that as well, and the date when the NDA was signed, and so on. So we can capture partners in that way. It can be more than one partner that can be captured here. We also have, opportunity teams. These are people that are going to be working on a specific opportunity. And, you can add opportunity team members, in different capacities, whether they can, whether they're an account manager or these are standard out of the box, options. But this is where you would have a role like a proposal manager or a bid manager that that can be configured specific to the organization needs, and they will all be able to collaborate on this specific opportunity and end to end, right? So at this stage, we have the opportunity. It's unqualified, and we want to see if this is an opportunity that we even want to go after, right? So what I'm going to do is, instead of going through the previous all the existing opportunities, figuring out where the match is for this specific opportunity, we build this agent that is going to do bid qualification for me automatically, right? So it's going to look at all of the existing opportunities that we've won or lost, look at attributes that are relevant to this opportunity. Right now, we have limited amount of data that this agent is looking at, but it obviously can be expanded to any of the attributes that are business specific, right? So what we are looking at right now is amount, the type of opportunity, and the description of the opportunity itself, and some of the risk factors within the opportunity, to evaluate whether we should be going after this opportunity or not. So when I click that button, there's a few things that happened. So the similar opportunities are being brought over, and these are opportunities that are in the application that that are at different stages, but Agentforce deemed them as similar opportunities based on the information we provided it, and brought those opportunities over. And there's also a bid qualification scorecard, and we have again, the amount of information on this is low. The recommendation here is not to proceed, but I don't see the reasoning here. Maybe because we don't have enough information in here, but uh, like um, Agentforce right here says, I mean, there's no historical data available for bid decisions. But what you would see here is like a recommendation whether to proceed or not to proceed. In this case, the recommendation is made not to proceed, because most of our opportunities in this demo instance are related to Salesforce opportunities, and this is an opportunity that's nitrogen oxidation program, which is vastly different from everything that we go after. So the recommendation is really to not proceed with this. But if you have similar data, you'll have more insights around yes, you can proceed with this, but here's probably the chance of winning such an opportunity, and so on. And we can also calculate things like p-win based on certain factors. And right now the p-win or the p-win shows up as 92% based on similar sized opportunities. Right now, obviously, it's not looking at the same uh, um, description for the opportunity. The p-win again is an agent-based approach, where it's just looking at the amount, the type of solicitation, and what your historical win rate has been, and and providing an update on, or providing a number based on those attributes. So once we get to this point, let's assume that we are proceeding forward with this, this specific opportunity. And at each stage, you'll see there are specific checks that we've added, and these are based on something like a Shipley Light process, where for each stage within the opportunity, there are certain checks that we have to follow, and I'll talk through one of the gate checks here as well. So the one thing here, for example, if you want to make it a qualified opportunity, you'll see that there is a message that says this opportunity is not one of the targeted agencies, or our competencies don't even align with it, right? So that's the first check that we do here. Let's say we added a new business unit, and we think the competencies align now. We can add that, and we can say let's move to the qualified stage here. And now within this, when we get to the qualified stage, we have a certain set of steps that we need to follow, right? I mean, have we verified our budget? Have we verified our scope? Did we complete a gap analysis? Or and at the end of all of that, we figure out whether it's a bid or no bid decision. And let's say, we completed all of these, and let's say our, as an individual that's responsible for this, that owns this opportunity, let's say, let's go ahead with this opportunity. But you'll see, like, the stage is still in qualified stage, but as you scroll down here, you'll also see that there is an approval that gets created, approval process that gets created for a black team review. And this sends out an email. I have an email in my inbox, which is obviously on my other laptop. But once you get this email, the approver or approvers can log in, and this is a one-step approval as of now. Which means that the black team review is going to be done by one person and approved here. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this this approval request. And as you'll see, like, I've completed all of the steps that are required here. As an approver, I can go to the opportunity, look at all of my information, and approve or reject it. So I'm going to go ahead and approve this. And go back to the opportunity. And now you'll see, like, we were in qualified stage. The approval automatically puts me into pursue stage. So these kind of, approval processes we see a lot in this bid management lifecycle, and they are very specific to individual organizations. So this is just to demonstrate that, like, we have a way to incorporate these color reviews within the process as well. And as we go through this life cycle, like, you'll see different things show up here. Like, as we get into the bid process, this is where, we expect the RFP to be released. And, like, we probably need to sign the NDAs with our partners. And, this is where we would confirm our scope and so on. And as we progress into the proposal stage, we expect that we'll have an RFP at this stage. I'm just going to mark this stage. Because I switched my laptop, I'm going to go to a different opportunity, pull a document. So give me 1 second here. So I'm going to pull this document down and go back to my other opportunity. And I'm gonna upload that file that I downloaded, which is basically a document that, let's say, we got from the agency that published the RFP about some non-functional requirements. For demo purposes, this document is short, but, like, this document can be tens of pages or even hundreds of pages at times. And the idea here is, once we have these documents uploaded, we can run a process based on an agent within Salesforce that we built that can pretty much take this document and multiple documents even. Like, if you have like 4 documents here, it's going to look at all of these documents. And when I process these documents, it's going to go through the contents, figure out what kind of requirements or questions are being asked in this document, and create a list of all of these questions and requirements for me to then analyze and figure out how I answer them, right? So as I complete that process, you saw here that this list got populated. So there were 5 requirements that came out of that document. And each of those have the specific context as well, right? I mean, it's not just a question. We are able to figure out if it's a requirement versus a question, pull out all of that information, identify where this came from, what kind of section, requirement number, and so on. We can either get answer to this question using this get AI answer, or I'm gonna go through a way of solving this with in bulk, right? So we created this this tab here called a workbench, and I'm gonna search for the opportunity that I've been working on, and it's gonna display all the questions and all the relevant information here. I'm gonna have it, let's say, answer a couple of questions, and this is where we've built in a modular kind of component approach where if you have your own LLMs that you want to work with, or knowledge that that you've created within your Salesforce environment, we can use those and generate responses for the requirements or the questions that have been asked as a part of that document. It's going to take a couple of minutes, or not a couple of minutes. It's going to take a minute to process here, because it's looking at all of the knowledge available within the Salesforce environment, and it's going to produce answers that can be easily plugged in now to any of your documents that that you want to generate out of this, right? So if you're responding to an RFP, you can either copy and paste this question or the response directly into your response document. You can also edit the response that is provided here. And and let's say we don't want this this additional paragraph. Let's take that out, and you can save that, and that response will be saved to the question as well. So you can do this with multiple engines, multiple questions, get all the responses in bulk. This process also saves the information back onto these the questions here. So if you have a doc gen tool of any sort, like whether that's Gemini, or tools that can be integrated into Salesforce, you can auto generate your documents from here. And the same process can also be leveraged for contracts as well. So as we go through the process here, let's say we our bid was awarded and we get a contract document. Now the contract document would have a lot of clauses that some of them could be flow through, some of them need to be addressed, and all of those can be extracted in a very similar fashion with the same agent, and the responses or additional documents can be generated, for example, for your teaming partners with information around flow through clauses that go to them as well. And once you have all of this, once the proposal is submitted, obviously you change the status to award, awaiting award. Like I said, once it's awarded, you can go ahead and get this opportunity closed, won, or lost, and that pretty much gets us to the end of the that bid management life cycle for this specific opportunity. And the key thing here, obviously, is again, like being able to get insights from this for this opportunity with the agents that we built, and also getting responses to the questions automatically through that agent, all within the process that we set up here, that is specific to like a Shipley methodology or your custom methodology that you might follow. Yeah, back over to you, Teresa.
All right, so that wraps up our demo portion. So I am going to reshare the slides and take a minute to walk through some frequently asked questions that we've gotten. And also, if you have questions, feel free to add them into the chat, and we'll do our best to talk through them. So one of the questions that we get a lot is around compliance. How do we make sure that all of what we're showing here maintains compliance? Most of you, if you're Salesforce customers, already use Salesforce Government Cloud. If you're not a Salesforce customer and you're selling to the US government, Salesforce will recommend that you adopt Salesforce Government Cloud, which is a FedRAMP High product. And Agentforce recently also was FedRAMP High authorized. So that is the way that you kind of maintain high level compliance. If there's other compliance standards that you have, in terms of ITAR or other standards that you follow, we'd recommend working with us to be able to talk through any additional security controls that need to be incorporated into the solution. That's typically the process that we follow anytime that we're working with customers that move to the Salesforce platform. Another question that we get pretty often is what licensing is required to be able to adopt this solution. And for the solution that we just walked you through, this can be accomplished through Agentforce One licenses or through the purchase of flex credits. It really will depend on your current footprint with Salesforce and how you want to implement the solution, which users you want to use it. And so we definitely would advise that if you're interested, we would want to work with your Salesforce account executive to figure out the licensing package that works best for you. And one thing to note is Agentforce is a consumption-based model, so there are tools built into Agentforce to be able to monitor consumption, and we would work with you as your implementation partner to also help anticipate what those consumption levels would look like. Is this solution packageable? Yes, this can be deployed as a package. I think one of the advantages of what we've shown you here is that it can still be configurable. Whereas if you're buying something off of the App Exchange or installing something off the App Exchange, you don't necessarily have that same flexibility. So we can deploy this as a package, but you can also have the option to configure it to your particular bid management process. And then lastly, I know we've gotten some questions actually in the chat around thoughts for how this could be extended. Again, given that this is configurable, there are ability to configure further. So one of the things that we're working on right now is being able to include some of those contract flow down clauses in like document generation. That's not something that we necessarily showed here, but that's kind of where we want to take this solution next. But if you're also looking at where there might be flexibility to use your own custom LLM, or I think one of the ideas in the chat was to be able to leverage some of your product roadmaps to make decisions on bids. Those are certainly possible, given the fact that, again, this is a configurable solution. So with that, I definitely can open it up to any other questions that might have come up. I'll go ahead and look in the chat if folks have anything else that you'd like to ask. Brian, I see you came off camera.
Yeah, but just while we're waiting on any additional questions, just want to make sure that appreciate everyone hanging on. We still stayed, as we got through those issues, we still had a pretty good audience stick around. 30 plus still stuck around. We will work on re-editing some of the initial part of the webinar to ensure that that is tightened up, and then we'll make sure that's sent out to everyone as a recorded version. So appreciate your patience there. Let's take a look and see if there's any questions.
I don't see any questions, but I do want to leave you with a couple key takeaways as you're thinking about how to optimize your bid management process, particularly with AI and Agentforce. Time is money. You've heard this. You all are looking at ways to increase your PWin and go faster. If you're a Salesforce customer, Agentforce definitely should be naturally on your radar. And as we shared, AI and automation are forefront in everyone's mind in the GovCon space. And being able to use Agentforce to assist in that process is definitely going to accelerate your proposal velocity. And you don't have to sacrifice security. So as I mentioned, these products are FedRAMP High authorized, and they do provide the opportunity to incorporate additional security controls. And that's where working with a partner like Vectr would really help in terms of figuring out what your additional compliance requirements look like. And lastly, find a trusted partner. So public sector, we know that there are a lot of unique requirements that you have as it looks, as it approaches compliance, or even like what your bid management process looks like. And so that's where working with a partner like Vectr Solutions, who has experience in the space, can really benefit. We have the advantage of being able to share what other customers are doing, but also uniquely understand your industry and methodologies like Shipley. So definitely reach out to us if you'd like a consultation or you'd like us to show this demonstration to you again. Definitely feel free to scan that QR code, and we'll work with your account executive to set up more time. Any closing remarks, Brian?
No, really appreciate it. I mean, the demo speaks for itself. I mean, what you can gain from this tool and using Agentforce has been mentioned multiple times today. Love to help you with P-win weights, more efficiency, increasing the volume of responses you get out there and more impactful responses with the solution. So look forward to speaking to each one of you. Please reach back out to your AE contact for a follow-up on this. Plus, we'll also be following up with anyone that wants to go to a deep dive session, one-on-one session.
Thanks, everyone, for your time.
Thank you.